Welcome to an amazing show. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you guys and ladies for tuning in. Hey, you're going to have the thrill of your life. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share what you're about to see. It's going to be amazing. I have amazing people in the studio with me, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, all over the world. We're welcoming you to this wonderful show that we're about to have today. My name is Minister Busola. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a minister, a relationship coach, a matchmaker, but I'm excited to be here today. Thank you, Pastor Shola, for having me here on the show.
Thank God. My name is Shola Jordan Ajay, and I welcome everybody to this wonderful show also. And I believe you're going to be greatly blessed because this is going to be the first time we're hosting someone very powerful here in Houston, Texas. And I'm telling you, get a pen and a paper ready because you're going to be writing points down. It's going to be crazy. So, Pastor, today, what are we expecting to discuss?
Oh, me. I would tell that too. Minister Busola, because you know exactly what we're expecting. And I think it will sound better from my mouth. Go ahead, Bob.
Thank you, PT. This is my amazing brother right here. Firstly, I want to say it's a privilege to be here today. I'm so honored and humbled. Thank you for having me here, Pastor Shola. God bless you for everything that you've been doing. I know that you are advocating for healthy marriages, healthy relationships, and that's one of the reasons why we're here today. And I'm also an advocate for that as well. We're going to be talking to singles, those that want to be married, aspiring to be married. And our topic of today is just going to be based on how to make sure that you marry the right person.
Single is ready to mingle. Yeah, let's go there.
So the key word here is the right person, not the perfect person.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody that's perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. So you're not going to find someone that's perfect, and there's no perfect relationship out there. But at least for you to know how to marry the right person for you, the right person that you can journey through life with, the right person that you can build a life of love, peace. Not that there's not going to be conflict, but there is. But how do you overcome those conflicts? How do you resolve them? Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, how to ensure you marry the right person. So stay tuned. Come along with us. Like Pastor Shola said, get yourself a pen and a paper. So here we go.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to all you guys joining on Facebook, people joining on YouTube. Thank you very much. I want to know exactly where you're connecting from. As you're coming in, please let me know exactly where you're connecting from. And I want you to just do one thing. Do me a favor quickly. I know it's not the right time right now. I know we're late a little bit. You guys always expect us to be here by 10, but this is 12 o'clock already. I've been past 12 already. See, please share this video. Let some other people connect at this time because today is going to be special. What you're going to get today is possible for you not to get it any other time. All right. So start inviting your friends. Start sharing this button right now. Let me know where you're connecting from. Janet, Yetunde, how are you? Ella Osakwe from Nigeria. Wow. At this time from Nigeria, you're supposed to be sleeping. I think it's like 6 o'clock right now. All right. So how are you doing? God bless you. And those ones connecting on Facebook, thank you very much for coming. YouTube, thank you. And those ones that be watching on Instagram, God bless you. So today we're going to be dealing with the topic how to ensure that you marry the right person. Right person.
Yes. The right person, the right partner.
Is there anybody that's right?
I was just thinking that, Pastor Shola. What were you thinking in my mind?
We're also going to be debunking some of the myths. You know, there's some myths out there that there's only one person for you in this whole world. That is a myth. Because as human beings, we all have the capacity to be able to have emotions. We have the capacity to be able to love within us. So there's no such thing as there's this perfect soulmate or the one person for me. Mm-hmm. So, but the right thing for you to do is develop the mindset, the good mindset that I want to have a good marriage. That's the first step. And Pastor, I want to go back to our foundation because, when we are young, our parents, everybody always teaches how to, grow up, go to school. When you get out of school, you got to get a job. You do all of that. Those are the things that they teach us. They teach us how to be an adult. But do they ever sit us down to teach us or educate us about how to build healthy relationships?
Well, because even they themselves, like I always say, majority of our mothers died in abusive relationships.
And also because they didn't know better.
They didn't know.
The knowledge and the information that you don't have, you can give it to others. So that's the reason why we've established, and you've established this platform to educate people so that they can have the knowledge. And a lot of times, the knowledge that we get is probably from our parents, and they're only going to give you what they know.
Of course.
So the information and knowledge they don't have, they can't give it to you.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, that they don't teach us how to have healthy relationships. And some of the things that we know about relationships today are the things that we've seen our parents do. We've conformed our minds to this is how a relationship is supposed to be because our parents told us so, or because we saw our parents in a relationship. And some people, they either saw their parents get abused, their mothers get abused, and some grew up in a loving family. And that is what has formulated their mindset. So right now, we want to talk about how to ensure that you marry the right person. And the first step starts with you. It starts with you as an individual. It starts with me. It starts with you. It starts with what thoughts are you giving yourself within your mind. And it starts with you knowing who you are as a person. Not through the eyes of other people, but through the eyes of yourself. Because there are times where you need to sit down and know yourself. What do I like? What makes me the core of who I am? What are my ethics? What are my morals? What are my principles? Once you understand that, you will be able to know what you want. Not only in terms of relationship, but in terms of aspiring to be a better person, in terms of careers, in terms of a job, in terms of just being out there and socializing with people. You'll be able to know, this is the kind of person that I am. These are the people that I want to associate myself with.
Don't you think we need a coach to be able to bring all this out of us?
We do, and that's the reason why we have this platform to be able to talk to people. And a lot of times, now coaches are now coming into existence, and people are now getting to find out more about coaches. But before, we didn't have a lot of people out there educating young generations. In our culture, especially with us coming from Africa, especially for the female child, the moment you get out of school, the moment you graduate, the next thing is go and bring a husband, get married. That's
because
the next.
Because I think you're making a good point. But what I see is that a lot of people don't even know how to dictate who they are. They don't even know how to find out who they are going to be or who they should be. We growing up is more like we are confused.
Exactly.
My dad wanted me to be a doctor. But growing up, I was just looking at myself like, I don't even want to be a doctor. I want to be somebody else. So I believe we need a coach to be able to help us to be able to find out
yourself. Find
how
who you are.
Yeah, to find out who you are.
Now,
because right now you're talking about this now, I'm thinking about, oh my God, multimedia life.
No, because, and that's how it's so important for us to find out who we are so that we can walk in our purpose and not in the purpose of others or through the lens of others. Because how many people wanted to play sports in Africa and their parents said, you have to read. You must read. The school that I sent you to. But that's not really what they want. And again, I can't really blame our parents because they didn't know better. Their mindset has also been conformed through the lens of their parents. It's a generational thing. So as an individual, you have to tell yourself, I need to know who I am. I need to be a better person. I need to walk in my purpose. And of course, like you said, you do need a coach to be able to tell you those things. And I do want to bring in a point, Pastor Shola, that a lot of people don't know. Like, through my research, I found out that the frontal part of our brain, the frontal lobe, which is responsible for effective rationalizing, reasoning, our cognition, being able to communicate well, to especially rationalizing things, it doesn't fully develop until the age of 25.
That's for male and female.
Yes. For us to be able to know, to truly rationalize who we are, it doesn't fully develop until the age of 25, averagely. For some human beings, it may be like between the age of 24, but averagely between the age of 24 to to 26.
26.
Now imagine someone, and you know, back in Africa, we graduate school really early.
Yeah.
Now imagine someone that just graduated from school, and the next thing your parents is telling you is go and get married. Your mates are married. You need to go get married. You need to do this. You haven't even found yourself. You don't even know who you are. The frontal part of your brain hasn't even developed to the point where you'll be able to know yourself, or you'll be able to reason enough to say, okay, these things I don't like it. These are the things that I like. Now it is at that age that you are now coming into starting to come into the full
realize who you are.
knowledge of who you are as a person. That's why you realize that some of the things that you used to do when you were between the ages of 19, 20, 21, 22, when you get to 27, 30, you're like, did I used to do those things?
Those things don't make sense no more.
It doesn't make sense anymore. Because now you've now fully
matured, you're grown.
You're now matured. You've come into a full awareness of who you are. And for some people, it may be later than
that may be like 40, 50.
It may be later on that they really come into the full realization and into the full knowledge of who they are. So that is why even the Bible said, be ye transformed by the renewal of our mind. We have to constantly be renewing our mind through learning, through educating ourselves. What is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? Who am I as an individual? What are my morals? You know, apart from the morals and principles that our parents have instilled in us when we were younger, are those morals even right? You have to, sometimes, you know, when we were younger, we couldn't question certain things.
Nothing.
You can't question your parents. They just tell you. Sometimes I'll ask my mom, okay, my mom, you tell me not to do these things. Can you tell me why? Sometimes you say, don't ask me why. Just because I tell you so.
Your mom, yeah.
Our parents, our aunties, our uncles. Because we're children, we're not supposed to question. We can't ask questions. But why not? But we are curious. We're trying to know. Maybe in us asking questions, you can explain certain things. But they tell you that because maybe themselves, they don't know themselves.
So, Pastor T, to marry the right person means you must first of all discover yourself. And how do you discover yourself? To me, it starts with God, because God created man, and his intention for man was everything good. Whatever you think good of yourself. So if you already exist and you don't think of yourself good, there's a problem, right? You think. Now, sometimes you have some bad things, and I disagree a little bit. Go ahead, sir. Do you think everything should start with God? Or must start? When it comes to human,
yeah, I know a lot of unbelievers that married the right person.
Yes.
They didn't go to church, they didn't pray about it,
They didn't pray about it.
They don't do nothing. All they know is that they discovered themselves and then they married the right person.
That's
Okay,
what
so
I'm saying.
when you
That's
get
the first point,
when
and
you
we're
get
going to get
confidence,
there.
when you get
We're going to
confidence
get there.
to know that this is who you are. How do you build yourself? Not knowing.
We don't want to jump. She used to say to me, the teacher is going to get us there. but usually I'm just trying to, you know.
And Pastor Shola brings a good
think
point.
a lot. Because, like, next to my house, there is a guy next to my house who doesn't go to church, doesn't do anything. He's the owner of a business. He had over 600 people to work with. The guy doesn't go to church, doesn't pray one bit. So, who gave him the money? He found out the principle of making money. He applied it and became rich.
How? Through transforming his mind, through research, through educating himself, through surrounding yourself with the
Being
right
influenced by other people.
And first important thing starts within the mind.
Know, we that talk about God. We go to church and then eventually we get divorced. We go to church and then we beat our wives. We go to church and beat our husband and be rude. So I just want to know. Because sometimes we always say we know God. But that God that we say we know is not working for us. People point towards church now. Why are church people getting divorced? Because they didn't put the time to know themselves, discover themselves, empower themselves, educate themselves. They only pray.
And even the Bible says, even the Bible says, prayer without work is what?
Is zero. It's zero.
And that's the thing. Like we pray. There is power in prayer.
A lot of power, yes.
I
We
will not
understand it.
negate that fact.
Yes.
I pray. I am a minister. I pray to God. Even before I got married, I prayed to God because guess what? At that time, I hadn't found myself. I didn't know who I was. I was just doing things, living single based on what I have been confirmed to know through parents, through society, and through the lens of others. You know, we associate things through the lens of others. Like I would look at previous relationships of maybe people around me, like maybe a cousin, an aunt, and see how they. And I thought to myself, okay, maybe this is the way marriage is supposed to be, but absolutely not. And that's what many people do. You see people getting into relationships, maybe people close to you, and you see the way the marriage is, and then you start to think and believe that, maybe this is the way marriage is supposed to be.
Let me ask you a question. For those young women that are watching us today and they're curious about being married just like you are, I know your husband, you're happily married, I know your family very well. What should they be looking at? What is they're hopeless. Some young lady might be watching or whatever.
I think the question is supposed to be, how do we go
How
through
do we
this
go
step
through
by
this
step?
step by step? And in the purpose, in the journey of trying to find out yourself and who you are, at that age, you need to be doing a lot of self-reflection. Do things and live your life. That's when, that is the period. The period while you're waiting is supposed to be for self-development, self-growth, living your life, finding yourself, finding the things that you like and the things that you don't like. Going out there, meeting people, building relationships.
Don't just
That's
be
what you're
jumping around
supposed
and
to
say,
be
I'm going to
doing.
get married.
No. And one myth also is, you know, when they say you're single, if you have a good job, a man will not come and find you. If you have a good job, a man will be threatened by your job, by the money you have. And that's the point where you're supposed to be developing yourself. Parents, as individuals, even now, this generation, our job is to educate our children so that they will not fall into the same trap that we did. You teach them at that age that right now, don't even worry about marriage. Marriage is going to come. But right now, take this time to find yourself. Take this time to enjoy yourself, build yourself, find out some self-development things that you can do, that you can grow. Find yourself. In the midst of meeting others, building relationships, you're going to be able to know, these are the things that I like. These are the people I should associate myself with. These are the people I'm not supposed to associate myself with.
You know, Pastor T, that there's going to be a moment in your life that you discover yourself, you find out that you're not supposed to get married. Because everybody's not.
Because not everybody.
You're going to make up your mind and say, you know what, marriage is not for me. I don't want kids because I can't take care of myself. There's going to be, you see, people can push you to get married. And then you get into it and you find out that this is not for me.
But to buttress what you're about to show out, like I said, I'm a matchmaker, right? I'm a certified matchmaker.
Yeah.
And I've had people that will contact me in place of their loved one and say, this person needs to get married. They've been long overdue for it. They need to get married. I want them to get married, especially for men. I want him to get married. And at the end of the day, you will find out. And one question I always ask them, I know you want this person to get married, but is this person ready for marriage within themselves? You may want them to get married. And then you find out at the end of the day, when I speak to that person, they don't have the mindset of marriage. The only thing they know about marriage is, yes, I want to get married. I'm supposed to be married. All my age mates are all married. I'm old. I'm already old. You know, I have my own job. I have a car. What else? Marriage is the next thing. But then when you send them out on dates, you now find out that they don't have what it takes to truly be in a healthy relationship. Talk less of even getting married.
Healthy relationship.
You see, when you
Marriage is a little far-fetched.
Yeah, when you discover yourself, you will know what you can take and
what you cannot take. And those are the things we're going to discuss.
And those are if I go out with a girl right now and I say to the girl, can I know you? You're supposed to be able to write a book about yourself. So I will read the book, I'll be able to find myself in your journey.
Yes.
If you don't even know where you're going, you don't even know who you are.
How do you know your destination?
Then I'm going to be useless when I come in your life. And that's the most important. So for us to be able to figure it out, if we are going in, towards the right direction or not, we have to first of all discover ourselves, educate ourselves, and become mature. Now, there are some people that are actually at that point right now, but they believe that there is no real love.
Oh yeah, Pastor Joel, there's a lot of people that believe that.
So what is that?
So what I'll say is, if you really believe that there's no love, out there, then you're not going to find love.
Time.
You're not.
She just destroyed it.
You will never find
The
love.
mindset.
Your mindset is so important.
Your mindset.
Because guess what? When you say that, you're speaking it into existence. You're speaking it into the universe. You say that I'm not going to find love. There's no love out there. So therefore, you're not going to find it.
Even when you
see it, you will not be able to recognize it. You will not be able to recognize it. So everything in life, we're talking about relationship today.
Yeah.
Forget the relationship part, but everything in life starts with your mindset.
Your mind. Do you believe? Yes, we can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Do you believe that the love that I want, I can find it? It is out there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Once you believe that, that's all you have to do. That's all you have to believe. But if you believe there's no real love out there, because guess what? You loving someone is not determinant on that person. Your ability to love is not determinant on another person's ability to love.
Mm-hmm.
So if you say, I've given my love to somebody, I did everything that I can, maybe that person was not the right person for you.
Hey.
It does not mean that you don't have the capability and the ability to love. And it does not mean that you're not going to find the right person that can match your energy and your level and you can love together.
You got to repeat that. That other part you just did. So, oh my God, now you woke me the heck up.
Yeah.
Don't repeat that part off. If you don't love, say it again.
Your ability to love is not determined on another person's ability to love. I can love. We all have that capability. I know how to love. My emotions are there. But it doesn't mean it's not determined on somebody else. Because we're two different human beings. So yes, you may have been in a relationship where it didn't work out, this. That's fine. That person was just not meant to be yours. They were not able to match your energy. They were not able to give you the love that you deserve. Let them go. Because guess what?
And they might work better when they meet another person
that has that ability. So we're getting somewhere here. So we're getting ahead of ourselves.
I'm learning
Let's backtrack a little bit. So after you discover yourself, you know who you are. You know who you are as a person. That's when you'll be able to determine, what do I want? That's when you'll be able to know what you want as an individual.
So your mom cannot tell you what you should
No.
go for.
Your mom cannot tell you. You're now an adult. They can only advise you. But you have the choice.
And you're going to live in the home
You
anyway.
make that decision for yourself. Yes, our parents have experience. And guess what? People are going to educate you based on their knowledge.
From their knowledge.
And their experiences. So if their knowledge stops here and you're already here, what can you do?
You can't go
What can
back
they
there.
give
You
you?
can't go back
You
there.
can't.
So how does that factor into the fact that there's disobedience? You know the Bible.
So the Bible says,
Sorry,
let's go into that. Let's go into that. So, let's go into that. You know the Bible says, children.
After the next verse.
Children obey your parents.
I also said,
As an adult, I would say your responsibility is not to obey. Your responsibility is to honor them. Right? If you want, let's pull that verse of the Bible that says your responsibility is to honor your parents. Do what you are as a child to take care of them. But your responsibility is not to obey. They always use this Bible verses and Christianity to confuse us.
Yeah.
My responsibility as an adult, because if you have trained me well and done the responsibility that God gave you, if you have trained me well, you've given me the map that I need to journey through life. and you know that you have done a good job, then you should be able to trust me as an adult to make my decision. And wait, PT, because I always tell my son this: for every action, there's a reaction.
Mhm.
For every reaction, there's a consequence.
Mhm.
So as an adult, when you decide to take an action, know that there's going to be a reaction.
Mm.
And if there's a reaction, there's going to be a consequence.
Mhm.
So you got to be able to live with that consequence, whether negative or positive.
Positive.
It's on you.
It's going to be on you. Because even as my mother, as my father, they've already lived their life. They're living their life. This is now my life. And whatever happens, I'm the one that's going to bear the consequence.
Do you know? Let me interpret this in Yoruba. You understand? You know, the Yoruba people will say, "Allah gemo TV mo, I moju kusowe." You see, the issue is that when you get married as a man, you're responsible for your own home, not your mom and dad. So you don't marry someone that your mom is recommending because you are the one that will live in the home.
This is another topic now when we're talking about in the issue of marriage, in-laws and things like that.
You're gonna
this is what men need to understand.
So when you discover yourself, you will be able to tell mommy, thank you for the advice. I'll think about it.
Thank you.
Mommy, thank you for this. I'll think about it. Because you know who you are. Okay, we were talking about someone getting married to a Black American and someone getting married to a Nigerian. If you don't know the culture of the Black Americans, you can't just jump into marriage. So if your mom is saying marry a Black American woman, and you know yourself, you tell your mom, thank you very much for that. I'll think about it. You know who you are.
Yeah.
You're going to go for who is going to actually give you peace, or who you are going to be able to connect with.
Mm.
That's what you go for. So it's so solid.
So let's backtrack now. Know yourself. Know who you are. The next step, know what you want. So let me use this analogy. You want to go grocery shopping, right?
Somebody is saying this one, Awayo doctrine is seriously twisted.
Well, again, mindset.
Mindset. Thank you.
Mindset.
That's mindset.
So
That's mindset right there.
let's use this analogy like you're about to go grocery shopping, right?
Yeah.
We're going to Walmart. If you don't have a list of the things that you need, when you go to the store, you're going to see things that are going to catch your attention, that are going to be attractive to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you will go into the store and you will come out with more things that you needed.
So it's just like a man without vision. No direction.
No direction.
You're going to miss it.
So you will, if you don't have a list of the things, of the criteria of the things that you're going to buy, you will just end up picking up different things that you probably don't even need.
I have a story of one guy. He married a woman and then eventually told the woman, I'm going to be a pastor. The woman said, I don't want to be married. I don't want to marry a pastor. And he was like, really? But we're married already. Aren't you going to change your mind? She said, no. It's better for us to actually fight for the both, right? I don't want to marry a pastor. And that was what happened.
Oh, wow. You know, this is actually in line of some of the things that I want us to discuss right here. Because, and we will get to that. There are key life principles, beliefs that once you know yourself, you'll be able to know what you want, right? But those key life values that you must align with your partner before you get married. And we're going to discuss that today. Because a lot of people don't know, even me, myself, and again, I always say, you have to keep transforming your life. Mm-hmm. The things that you knew about marriage and relationship back then, you need to let it go. So now, going back to our third tip, right? Once you know what you want, then you have to ask yourself, am I really ready for a relationship? Or am I ready for a marriage?
And you need to work on this because especially for men. See, let me come into Busola. In our culture, and I'm going back to our culture, this, there's this mindset, talking of mindset, that once you finish school or you graduate, you get a job, they celebrate you having a job. The next thing is you have to get married. Because there's a woman there, a responsible man. My father said it to me, must have your wife. Must, not must. How does that work? When you both just said, Pastor Sugar said, you said that Your wife, marriage is not for everybody. Because your own family, your own parents will look at you as a responsible man. No matter how successful you are in anything, ministry, job, everything, the fact that you don't have a wife by you,
so PT.
So what,
You know the
how do you
reason,
handle that?
the reason why your family keeps troubling you is because you've not been able to give them a concrete reason as to why you either want to get married or you don't want to get married. If they're troubling you and they're pestering you to get married, maybe you need to sit down and say, Mommy and Daddy, maybe I'm not ready to get married. What if I get married and I end
your
up?
parents do not try to hear that.
They don't want to hear.
Your parents are going to actually activate fasting and prayer,
Yeah.
and then they start going from one prophet to another
You
prophet.
have to be able to state your claim and your reasons as
Yeah.
to why I do not want to get married. You don't have to agree with my point, but you have to abide by my decision. You have to respect my decision.
So another advice for the parents now.
Respect their decision.
Respect
if they're
your
telling
kids.
you that I'm not ready for marriage or
Yeah.
I don't think I want to get married, yeah, be fasting and praying for them at your own will. That's fine. You can be fasting and praying for them in your own house, in your corner when you're talking to God.
Yeah.
Make the desires of your heart, make it known to God,
Mhm.
but don't impose it on them.
Yeah.
You can't impose because this is their lives. As much as you want them to get married, as much as you want grandchildren, I mean, that is the joy of any parent. But
Everybody's
you
not
can't
going to be married.
impose. Would you rather they get married and then 2 years later
And then
they're divorced, or
Yeah.
Or
your
they're
child
unhappy.
is
Or somebody
unhappy,
kills
they're
somebody.
Or
suffering?
somebody dies.
At the end of the day, they don't really care because that's what they'll tell you. That's how marriage is.
Ah.
You endure. That's how it is. You know, I endured with your father. I did this, I did that. They will tell that's how marriage is. And unfortunately, that's the way society thinks. We've been conformed to think that way because, of course, with creation, God wanted us, God is the one that established the family. And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, you still have to understand your own child. Because at the end of the day, a lot of parents, they know the bad behaviors and the bad characters that their children have. They know that the child is probably not ready for marriage. They know that if this son of mine or this daughter of mine gets into a marriage, it's going to scatter. But they will say,
Some
some people believe that by the time he gets married,
there,
he will cool
they
down.
will cool down, he will understand, he will do
But
that.
they are forgetting that he's
pray.
going to be married to one innocent girl.
Yes. So that's their own belief. But you as an individual that you found yourself and you know that, I don't think I'm ready to marry because if I get married, I'm going to hurt that person. Or that person that they're imposing on you to marry. You know, some parents are like that. They will tell you, I want you to marry this person.
Listen to this, Busola. He said, watching from London, the UK, I'm 42 years of age, and I'm believing God for marriage. I always tell my mom that I would choose my husband, and she should stop asking her friends to help her to look for a man for me.
That's not African parents for you.
But that's a good mindset.
That
That's what we're saying.
She want to pick her husband herself.
Yes.
That's a wonderful mindset.
You know?
So,
Because she's the one that's going to live at home.
but at the end of the day, she's an adult and she is making her decision known to her mom and putting her foot down that you may not agree. Let's agree to
That's the
disagree,
thing.
but don't impose it.
With all what Busola is saying, is there anything that you can say, okay, she's trying to deceive people here?
No, I'm actually
Where
like,
do people get this kind of mindset from? Keep deceiving people. Where? With all the truth we're hearing now,
Again,
where are you
It's
seeing
mine.
someone deceiving somebody?
It's that person's
Busola
mind.
don't seem to be surprised.
Oh, I'm not bothered because we're African.
Somebody's saying you are encouraging children to disobey their parents.
No, that I said
They didn't listen.
that.
That's how people
Again.
are. That's another thing. They'll listen to something and they'll listen to the
They
entirety
will
of
listen
it.
to it.
And they'll
Yeah.
take the first part and run away with it. Because of
This-
what?
This is
Mindset.
because of their
Mindset.
mindset.
How do we
You
deal with
don't know-
mindset?
Big question.
As a matter of
That's
fact,
what.
you can't.
Before you talk, I get frustrated.
No, Pastor, you can't
I
be
will
frustrated.
talk
No.
the same thing like 20 times. They will still be hearing what they've been
You know,
hearing
they
before.
want to hear because the saying that says you can force a horse to the river, or you can force the horse to drink water, and you can force an adult to comply. The change
Has to come from
has to start
the
from
person.
you.
That's it. See, if I didn't learn anything today, I learned that.
It starts from you. as an individual.
So until they get ready,
Until
there's nothing you can do.
it's just like a woman that is in an
Thank God
abusive
for you, my dear
relationship.
sister Mary Jean. We are not children, we are adults.
You're an adult.
We're an adult. Thank you, Mary Jean.
And to buttress that, Pastor Shola,
Yeah.
so if your parents tell you, put your hand in this burning fire, put your hand in this burning fire.
They will obey
So
their
at that point, you will not be disobeying your parents.
No, they will
But
obey.
again, the change starts from you, starts from within.
Yeah.
So to continue, the next step that I was talking about is, are you really ready for marriage?
So you should be you'll be the one to know.
You'll
maybe
be
you
the
are.
one to know within your mind.
Not somebody else will tell you.
No, not through the lens of others.
Not your
And it
friends,
comes
not your
from
best friends.
you knowing who you are, knowing what you want. It comes through self-reflection.
And you must have studied about relationship, marriage. You know,
Yes.
now, I think I have the ability and
This is-
capacity for this.
And to know that you're ready for marriage, one thing is you have to get rid of your old baggages.
Like what? Give us example of
Old
those baggages.
baggages. One example is the negative and the bad experiences that you've had in the past.
Go.
Healing.
I'm going. I want to go and chop
Me, I
amala.
almost ran.
No, I want to go
ran.
and chop amala.
I'm like begging be ready.
Do you know that
I'll hook you up.
leaving the past is difficult?
You have to heal
Leaving the past.
from old wounds.
So
Old,
if the wound is still fresh,
Yes.
leave marriage alone.
don't even try to get in the marriage because
Pastor, why act like I don't say that about men? Men,
I said I
you will divorce today,
So let me-
and the
let me-
next week you're already
Yo,
dating.
let me give
You
you
are
a
you're
scenario.
about to mess that woman's life up.
PT, let me give you a scenario, right? So someone introduced me to someone and said that, okay, this man, he really needs to get married and all of that. You know, this person was previously married to someone from Nigeria that came in and practically destroyed his life. That person was even fetish and all of that. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but that person kind of destroyed his life, messed his mind up. And also, the way he got married to that person was because his mother in Nigeria was telling him, you are old now, you need to get married, you need to do this, you need to do that.
Pressure.
So I found somebody. So yes, pressure. So he decided this was not someone that he would
Regularly date.
ideally be married to.
But
You know, maybe he went to Nigeria. You know how you
Then
go to
they
Nigeria
connected
the
you
first
out
time
with-
and you meet each other, and then the person is like, this person's from America. I must not let him go.
I
And
love
then
you.
they go the fetish way to make sure. And then next time this person is pregnant, and now your parents are telling you, well, she's already pregnant. God knows what he's doing. So now you have to marry this person. So he conforms to the instructions, obeyed his mother.
The parents, yeah.
He obeyed his mother. But this wife comes to America and messes up his life. Messes up his life. Called the cops on him several times. Took his house, did everything. Now he's divorced. He has not fully healed. He's still broken. He has trust issues. And now you're coming to me as a matchmaker to match you with someone. And he's now, because for me, before I match anyone, I have to be able to talk to you. I have to, we have to talk. I need to know where your mind is at about relationship. So in talking to him and having this conversation with this guy is telling me, well, all my pastors are saying that you need to marry, that you cannot stay alone. You need a woman that will help you forget about whatever you went through.
That's the thing. I want you to know all my pastors are saying.
My pastors, even people around me, not only pastors, though,
Spirituality
people
and
are telling
reality,
me
they are two different
that-
things.
People are telling me, I cannot stay alone. I need a wife. You know, how can you be staying alone? I need a wife, you know, to help me forget everything that I went through, to help me forget all those things. And I'm like, no.
So
You
you wanted
have
to get
not-
married so you can forget
So
about the past.
You have not healed. You are still carrying this baggage.
She needs to go and sign up for therapy.
Exactly. You have been through so much emotional trauma.
Yeah.
You need therapy.
Therapy.
You need to walk through those issues.
Yeah.
Maybe your husband left you 5 years ago, and now you're having to deal with the children and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, you may have even picked yourself up, but you're still holding on
to
that baggage. And now you're using it against men. That's how all men are. I'm never going to find love. I'm never going to do this.
Yes.
That's how all men are.
Yes.
Just because he treated you that way
Doesn't mean
the
everybody's
next
bad.
man is
Yeah.
going to treat you that way. So automatically, I was like, I'm sorry, I can't work with him. Because
Somebody
it would be
said,
at
if your children challenge your decision, will you accept it? You're talking about children. We're talking
Children.
about adults here.
my children. I have a 6-year-old. Of course, I'm not going to accept it because he's a child, and my responsibility as a parent that God has given me is to train him in the way that he should go, so that when he grows up into an adult, he will not depart from it.
Somebody said I was sexually abused at a very young age, and it has taken me all these years to learn to forgive myself and allow God to mold me again to be the woman that I'm now full of life to give.
That
Therapy
is
is important.
It's so important. And I'm so glad that you've been able to forgive yourself, because whatever that person did to you has nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
It has everything to do with that person. So I'm so grateful to God that you've been able to heal it. So back to what I was saying. You have to leave your old baggages. Heal from it, whatever you need to do. You need to be able to heal from it. Like, imagine going through the airport now. Just go to an airport. You see all different kind of people. Different kind of people. Some may be carrying like 3, 4, 5 luggages.
Somebody
with
said
them.
jumping inside the lagoon is much safer than listening to this message.
Well, then go ahead and jump.
I wanted to say that. I wanted to say, why not jump right now?
Go ahead and jump.
No, go ahead and jump.
Don't jump. Oh.
No, go ahead
That's
and
a
jump.
joke. Don't jump.
It's your choice.
What?
No, he's saying that. He said he wants to jump. Let him
But
jump.
it's your
Don't
choice.
jump. Oh, please.
But sir, I mean,
You go for a shoe, though. Did you jump?
Huh?
Pastor July, really?
no, but
You said what?
It's your
It's your choice. You want to jump, go ahead and
You're
jump.
an individual. You are an adult. You can
You're an
do
adult.
that.
That person wants to learn. He doesn't have a way of learning.
So
What to what?
That person wants to learn. He just
No,
has
I
a
don't
way.
think so. This is
No.
the way every day we do show. This is always his response
and
all the
it's
time.
okay.
Come on.
You can enforce.
This is how this is the way he will respond. All of the shows, every day on shows. This is the
Oh,
way
he's the same person.
the same person all the time.
It's okay. You can't enforce things on people. Like I said, you can never force an adult to comply. The change has to start with them, and it's fine. So back to what I was saying. You have to be ready for a relationship. Release all those old baggages. Now, going through an airport, you see different people drawing 5 luggage behind them. You see someone with just a carry-on. Will they be weighed down? Are they going to be delayed? Do you think they'll be delayed? By the time they get to the gate, they'll just walk right through it. But someone that has a heavy luggage, they will probably stop them, say, you need to offload some things before you get on this flight. And that's how it is on the journey of our life. You have to be able to let go. It's not going to be easy. It won't. But if you surround yourself with the right people, do the right things, like going to see a coach, seeking therapy, it's okay. Talking to people. Sometimes when you even express yourself, when you say it out, you might find a relief.
Yes.
But when you bottle it in, and the society doesn't make it easier as well, because they kind of label you as someone that just left the marriage and things like that. No matter what has happened to you in the past, like that lady said, she was abused. That may have affected her relationship. That may have affected the way she would trust people. When you don't let go of those things, you will never be able to give 100% of yourself to anybody. To anybody. But shall I even forget relationships? Even with other people that you're not even dating, you will never be able to give your 100%. So you have to heal. Heal those baggages. Confront those people, confront them. If you have to, in a passive way, say, this thing that you did to me.
What kind of advice do you give to people who live in Nigeria, to some people who live here also, who don't believe in therapy?
If you don't believe in therapy, that's fine.
Because the moment you mention therapy, they believe maybe it's a crazy person.
It's a crazy person, yes. I would highly encourage you to, but if you don't believe in that, find someone that you trust that will be a voice of reason. that you can pour out yourself to. Someone that is either a mentor, someone that is knowledgeable, someone that is trained, not necessarily in form of a therapy. Even if the person is not trained, even if the person is your mother, mom, I don't want you to tell me. I just want to vent. I just want to express myself. This is how I feel. These are my feelings. And these are the baggages that I've been carrying. It is weighing me down. I just need to release it. Because sometimes you will find solace.
But you have to watch it.
Like I said,
That's what I was about to say.
and that's why I said it has
Some people
to
will
be someone
damage you more.
They'll make it worse.
Someone you trust.
You can trust them, they might not be good advisors.
That's true. They
So
might
you
not
can
be
trust
good
somebody,
advice.
but not
But you're not going to them to advise. Not necessarily to advise you, but just for you to pour out.
Okay. Yeah, you can pour out your mind, but sometimes they will want to say one word or two, and they will just damage the whole
They'll damage the whole thing.
Some of them will say, "Why are you not crying?" It happens to everybody.
That's true. That's true. That's very
That's where
true.
my pastoral thing kicks in.
Yeah.
Go back to where I was.
Somebody like you, somebody said all these things we are talking about. If there is no biblical passages, it's not valid.
Let me say this. Let me say
Okay. Mindset.
That's where I come.
Mindset. But you have to have biblical to back up
Mindset.
biblical passage, right?
Can you tell me one biblical passage that backs up Mercedes Benz?
I don't know.
I mean,
Maybe we should ask
I
that
mean, a
person.
house in Dubai.
House in Dubai. Can you
That
show me
person,
one? Olisa Okoye. Can you show me one that backs up iPhone?
Oh, they will tell you, my God will supply all my needs according to his riches in glory.
It's not, I didn't see iPhone in that one. I didn't see
There's no
Mercedes
iPhone
Benz.
in that script.
I want to see Sky and Jets. Jet.
No
Which of the Bible verses
Oh,
can back
Movado.
up Jets?
Movado.
But truly,
Gucci. Is Gucci in the Bible?
Movado.
Show me.
Movado is in the Bible.
Actually,
Movado
where in the
is
Bible?
man of
Where?
God. Man of God. Man of God. Praise him.
I have to remember. Let me do
Tesla is in the Bible.
Tesla. You want it with
You know what Jesus said? Jesus said, there's still some things I want to tell you. But if I tell you, you won't
No,
understand.
that's not.
These things are coming.
That's the Tesla.
That's it now. You
It's
will still be
coming.
driving a car that will be driving itself.
Yeah.
If I tell you,
That will
you
be
won't
flying.
understand.
A car that will be flying.
Mindset.
It's a mindset. But
Same thing.
truly, just to answer what that person is saying,
Yeah.
you can take it back to God.
That's what I was about to say.
You can take it back to God. You can release it at the feet of God and say, God, this area of my life, I am struggling, but I need you to step in. I need you to teach me how to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
You can take it back to God.
And
Because your
Busola,
source comes
this
from
like
Him.
Busola, this is really what I was going to say. I was saying that earlier. And you were saying things about non-believers. Non-believers got to go to God.
Yes.
Because it gets to a point where the human
Yes.
loses and don't have answers.
Mhm.
The best answer is still this God.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, and I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, but I'm passionate about that. You cannot neglect the presence of God and try to make it. Because what happens is, like you said, you go to your mother that is still healing. Your mother probably don't have God's wisdom. Say, but it happens, you have to go and marry another person. And you still have a baggage.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's a shame to our name, the name of James Olubawa Shewa. Really? Now, we're talking about something that, like you said, making it worse. But when you go back to God, I don't think God's going to bring that healing. That healing it might take 6 months.
You see, what I'm trying to say is this. See, there's a place of prayer, and then there's a place of counseling and therapy. When you go to God and pray, prayer will open the door for revelation. And the revelation will be see a therapist, see a doctor, go to professionals. So when you now go, as they are doing the job, you're praying along. I don't want people to be disappointed. I can tell you a lot of times when I actually wanted to take an exam and I failed after praying. I prayed like crazy, then I failed. Then somebody told me, "Pastor, you didn't study well." I said, "But I'm depending on God." No, you can't depend on God. You cannot stop reading and expecting Holy Spirit to come and do exam for you. It's not going to work. And that's why I'm trying to make an example with the unbelievers. The unbelievers, they are applying principles. We are only applying prayer. And that is why we don't own nothing. It is the principle that brings prosperity. So, but when we now
That's what I said,
combine the two together, we now be on top. Are you getting the point? So, if you get married, you must know the place of prayer, and then you must know the place of action. So you put the two together.
Can we bring them light in for a little bit?
Yeah, please. I need to be looked at what's going on because I'm like,
Oh, Demilala, you missed a lot, but
I know.
So long we rope you in.
I know. Please, I just need to be roped in.
So for me to quickly just educate those points that are a little confused. What Busola was saying was there's a difference between children and adults. When you're a child, you listen to the instruction of your parent because at that time they're still molding you. They are actually trying to put your feet on the ground. So you follow instruction. At the point in time, by the time you turn 18 and above, then you become an adult. Then the responsibility is on your shoulder. At that time, you know what you want and what you are not interested in doing. So if mommy should tell you, go and do this, at that point in time, you can tell mommy, I'm really sorry. I don't want to do that. This is what I want to do. At that time, your mom or your dad would understand now that you're grown. And now you want to be responsible. And then they leave you alone. All they need to do is just to pray for you. All right? As you're joining, through life. So let us not get it twisted. When you're a child, listen to parents. When you're an adult, take responsibility.
We didn't make up these words. It's in the Bible. Children, obey your parents. It says they're children. But okay, Pastor Shala, let's look at it this way. In hindsight, maybe that person has maybe they have not fully developed into an adult.
Of course.
Because some people, they are married though, and
kids.
still behaving like children. They have the mindset of a child.
Maturity has got nothing to do with it.
It has nothing to do with that. That their mother is dictating their marriage. Their father is dictating their marriage.
Yeah.
If that's still happening, then you're not an adult.
Yeah. That was what I said the last time.
You're not an adult.
When I got married, every time there is a problem, I'll go and call my mom.
You have to call your mom? No.
And then
they're going to solve everything.
My wife would tell my mom, we didn't fight. We're doing what marriage is supposed to do. And then I'll feel like, oh, I'm a dummy, man. Why did I call mom? I have to grow up.
And become an adult.
Yeah, that's how I'm facing it. You know?
So let's go back to the points that we were given before.
Yeah.
First,
Point number 3 now.
know who you are. Know what you want. And be ready. Are you ready for a relationship? And I said to know if you're ready for a relationship, you have to have gotten rid of your own baggages. You have to have healed. Even if those baggages are positive baggages. Because there's somewhere maybe your previous relationship ended and maybe not through a fight. You probably didn't fight. You probably didn't, you separated amicably, but you're still holding on to that relationship, still wishing if you could be in that relationship. You have to get rid of those baggages to look forward ahead to what is coming ahead. But if you haven't healed and if you haven't broken, you're not ready. Another thing is you have to have the mindset of marriage.
There's a mindset of marriage.
There's a mindset of marriage, meaning you know what marriage is about. Even if you don't know fully, but you're taking the necessary steps, you are reading, you're educating yourself, you're surrounding yourself with good mentors that can teach you, that can give you the principles of marriage, that can educate you on those things. That's how you begin to develop your mindset. When you associate yourself with people that have broken marriages, that don't have a good mindset about marriage, that don't know what marriage is about, that's what you're going to feed off of. That's what you're going to feed off of. Forget all the things. So, some of our parents, they'll tell you, don't ever trust a woman. They'll tell you, don't ever put your money together with the man. Make sure you have your own thing. If he's not doing the right thing, divorce, you leave. Some people go into a marriage with the mindset of divorce. That if it's not working, we're just going to leave. So everything starts with your mindset. Forget all those things and find new revelations about marriage. Again, going back to the word of God, of what God says about marriage, teaching yourself, educating yourself. Because once you stand firm on that and you know what marriage is all about, when someone comes that is not even on your, not necessarily on your level, but that doesn't have that mind, you will be able to recognize it right away. You know that, huh? No, we're not. No. This is not.
So we're not supposed to just just go by the relationship between your mom and dad alone, trying to think you know marriage. Go to the school. Go and learn about it. Get a mentor to mentor you through what marriage is all about. And then that will actually get you ready. Am I really ready for this kind of stuff as a man? You know, some of our men, they just want to marry someone that will obey them. That'll be a slave. Yeah. So the moment you marry someone that is questioning you, that's a problem. And the marriage of today is different from marriage of yesterday.
Yes.
The women are well developed right now. They're well empowered.
Yes.
See?
Oh yes, the women are well. And you know,
She's like, how far away?
It's like the men are now are more toddlers than even children.
Oh, that's even worse.
No, I'm being sincere.
I want to enter on that.
Some guys don't have a sense of accountability. You can't be in a relationship and not be able to be held accountable for what you do wrong. They don't want to be held accountable for what they do wrong. So why be in a relationship if you're not ready to be accountable for anything that you do and own your mistakes?
It's because the women allow them.
Well, that's partly that's true.
Yeah,
a lot of women allow them. I will not date a guy who's not accountable.
But do you know that there's
Also, see, you know, we are not the one talking now.
Pastor Shola,
Yeah, because
I talked to a lot of young women, and you will see that they've been talking to a guy, they've been seeing a guy, they're sleeping together. You are going to his house, you are washing dishes, you are doing all of that, you're sleeping together, your friends know him, but you don't know what you are in the relationship.
Yeah, you're just a trophy.
They just said, no, we're talking, we're chilling.
We're just hanging out.
We're chilling.
You've been seeing this guy for 9 months.
And we're still chilling.
And we're still chilling.
Of course, it's chilling.
I always say this. You have to teach people.
I'm trying to know who I am.
How to treat you.
I'm just chilling with you. I
Yeah,
don't want to know
they're
who
just
I am.
like you. We just chilling.
You chilling.
We kicking it.
I can just marry somebody.
And you allow that.
Do you know what's funny? What the post said is so true.
Very
I
true.
just thought I'm on my dates when I was if a woman allows me to even carry her head.
Somebody said after sex they should know.
No, some people they're having sex
and they don't know
for a year. They still don't know what they are in the relationship. You ask the guy.
Oh, we're just chilling. We're still trying to get to know each other.
After 1 year.
What are we talking about?
We're still chilling.
It's because the women allow
You
them.
get pregnant, then we are
You are
still
still
chilling.
chilling. And they still don't claim it. We're not boyfriend and girlfriend. But they will tell you that.
But you see, another thing
Give me
is,
signs for pop. We still
another thing
chilling.
is the type of friends you have. My friends will tell you, Auntie, start moving. Uncle is not serious. From day one.
Uncle is not serious.
You're not a serious
No,
fellow.
that's
If you don't have friends that can also call you
tell
out
you to order.
and tell you, girl, what are you doing?
But-
1 year.
But then, like, if your friend calls you to order, and you still want to remain in that relationship,
So that's part of it.
you will remain there.
No, it's also
Because you will see all the everything starts with your mindset.
You know,
Because you will see
mindset.
all these flags, and you still they'll be telling you, this guy don't like you. He don't love
Oh,
you.
really?
He don't do this. Be the pastor.
You know, say, if you are chilling with a guy for 9 months and he's not proposing, then his finances are not good.
It's not even about the
It's
finances.
not about the finances.
You're not holding the person accountable.
It's the truth.
Because, Pastor, because you have allowed him, you have told them it is okay for you to toy with my emotions. It is okay for you to sleep with me, have me anytime you want, and still not claim me. It's okay.
Could this be because women are desperate these days to be married?
It could be. Again, goes back to mindset. It could be the mindset. It could be pressure from the home.
It could be what you said. Find yourself. There's the first
They
thing
don't
you
know
said.
what they want.
Find
I think
There's
yourself.
a lot of
a lot
reasons.
of young people are scared to date themselves.
Some
If you
people
can't date yourself, you
can't
don't
date
know the
nobody,
value
of
of
yourself.
what you have.
You don't know yourself.
For me, some days I wake up, I'm like, you know what? I want to take myself out on a nice date.
No shit.
Let me just go and meet my
So no guy can come and tell me, oh, I'll take you on a date. Go out, you not bring one list of cheddars and uncle. You look at me from head to toe. Do you think I don't know how to take care of myself? Some guys think that because we don't put a lot of ladies don't put value on themselves.
But let me let it. What if Cheddars is what he can afford?
That's one, right?
Yeah.
But there's some guys that will say it in a way of, oh, you know, there's a guy I
Oh,
met
no,
before
I know.
that'll tell me, oh, I said, so where are we going? He said, oh, I could go to Cheddars. The way you say it so nonchalant, be like, oh, I'm the one doing you a favor.
That's a different case. Yes.
There are some cases like that a guy will make a female feel like he's doing her a favor.
I think it's Cheddar.
Then
I
that,
think
I
it's
take you to
Cheddar is
Cheddar.
like $10.
There's nothing wrong
I'll
with
take
it,
it to
though.
McDonald's.
There's
There's nothing wrong with
Cheddar.
it because I like their popcorn chicken anyway.
I'll take it to McDonald's.
We have
I
to.
think
But really, though,
We have
I'll
to
buy you-
discuss
I'll
dating
buy you
one-on-one
Happy Meal.
at another time.
yeah,
Because
but-
it's not about, and women and men need to know this when it comes to dating. Dating is conversational. You're meeting at a location. It doesn't matter where the location is. It's relative. You are trying to get to know that person.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean when I date you now, just because we go on a
Take me
date.
to expensive
The
restaurant.
date
Yeah.
is just a
to get to
meeting
have a
Really?
discussion,
point.
to talk.
The date is just a meeting point. It could be at a park, it could be at Starbucks,
Mm-hmm.
it could be anywhere where you meet to talk and have a conversation, to see.
Doesn't really matter
You,
where.
the person is even someone you can care.
We
Have a
even
conversation
vibe,
with,
even
yeah.
if to see if we even
So-
have chemistry.
So getting to know yourself first will allow you to know who is actually connected to with you.
No.
So you don't want to waste your time.
Yeah.
I have to know who Demilade is.
Yeah, Demilade,
Need
this is
to
who
know
Demilade is. So
who
if
can
I'm
vibe
coming
with
into
you.
your life, you
Yeah.
know, no, this is not
This
for me.
are from
Yeah.
from a distance. I can already
Yeah,
tell.
this is not
No.
for me. I don't want to waste my time. Instead of me
Exactly.
chilling for 9 months,
Once.
you won't give
You
me
are
the
chilling
so-
for 9
so-
months.
so give me the
Some
opportunity to
waste
chill
time
for
talking
9
on
months.
the phone, you used to become friends. But what I've heard is, oh, we can be friends. With the dating go, oh, we can be friends.
You can be friends. You can be
But
friends.
set boundaries.
But set your boundaries.
Okay.
Don't introduce sex into the situation.
No,
Because-
sex is the key thing
Yeah.
for men. We
No,
want the
We
sex.
want to knock you down.
You want the sex. But
We want the sex.
In the car.
Pastor Shola,
Huh?
I'm not. Yes, you want the sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the minute I give you the sex,
Mhm.
without even knowing if me and you are compatible.
Yeah.
If and that is why if it's so important. If you want to get married, you have to date with intention, date with purpose. It's a different case if, and it's okay to tell yourself that if I am in the space of my life where I don't want to get married, I'm not ready for marriage. It's okay to understand that. I mean, even though you're not supposed to be having sex, and that's not what the Bible says, but if your mindset said, I right now, I don't want to get married, I just want to be by myself, then you can do that. But if you're dating with a purpose and intention, then take sex off the table until you know that this is person for
But the
me.
ladies are the ones talking about how will I know we're sexually compatible?
Yes.
How will I know that
I
the stuff is
understand.
long and big?
I
How will I know it's
understand that,
compatible?
Pastor
You
Shola.
can go like
I
45
understand
minutes.
that. I understand that. But once you, how will you know? But it's just as important as knowing, babe, if I marry this man, show my family is he gonna kill me?
Yeah.
That's just as important.
Pastor Shola,
That
those
is
things right
putting
there too.
the cat before the horse. Don't think about the sex. Sex is important, but don't think about that. So think about, are we aligned on our beliefs and our principles? Are we aligned on things that is going to sustain our marriage,
You
keep
see,
our marriage going, so that we'll be
you're
together
talking
for a
about
long
like deal things. We preachers just preach this thing. The people will do what they want to do.
Exactly.
They want to do
They're
anyway.
gonna do what they want to do. So that's why at the end of the day,
Then they will
You
still enter
sample
into where they don't want
Tope,
to
you
enter.
sampled David, you sampled Femi, you sampled Kunle,
Yeah.
you sampled this, because I want to know if it's John Thomas is long enough. Keep sampling, or if it's going to
But Holy Ghost
satisfy
cannot
you
tell you
sexually.
that one.
They cannot tell you that one. Fine. I'm not saying that you should do it. Do whatever is important, whatever
So Allah is
makes
the
you
only
happy.
part is here.
But at the end of the day, we're
Yeah.
gonna give you practical tips that you need to apply, so that even when you sample this person, but you know that okay, at the end of the day, this person has the same mindset that I have. We're dating for a purpose. We're dating with intention, and the intention is at the end of the day, we want to get married.
There's the story of one lady. She believed in no sex before marriage.
Mhm.
You know, she must have dated about 200 men. She's a very beautiful girl. She dated 200 men. Every time she would tell them no sex, those guys would just go.
They'll go.
Just go. They just go. They just go. So one day, she made up her mind. Said, you know what? I can't just can't get old like this. I'm going to allow someone to have sex with me. And then he allowed someone to have sex with her, and then she got pregnant. And that guy eventually disappeared.
Mm.
So I realized the sex itself can never hold a man down.
It can't.
Mm-mm.
It cannot.
Can't.
Whether you have sex or not, it cannot. The key life principles that we're going to talk about, you need to listen to this. Those are the things that's going to sustain your marriage. So we're talking about, are you ready? You need to have the mindset and ask yourself these questions. Are you ready to be in a faithful and committed relationship?
Mm.
Are you mature enough to stay faithful or want to be in a stable and meaningful relationship? If you cannot answer those questions,
You're not ready for that.
are you ready for the responsibility that comes with marriage? For men, it's not just about you providing. Are you going to be there for your wife? Are you going to be a supporter?
Emotional support.
Are you going to be there?
That's right. This is where men we disagree. This is where men disagree. Men believe that in as much as I put roof over your head.
No, that's
and
not why God has called
food in
you
the
as a leader.
fridge, I can actually hang out with Kule.
Because me, I know my guy, I won't say his name. He will just get on the phone and say, yo, I pay all the bills.
Mhm.
All, and he really does.
Mhm.
And his wife is doing well financially.
Yeah.
But the say so that he wants, he's not getting it.
Mhm.
So that frustrates him. See, I guess we'll just go and half. Or whatever they call it, 50-50.
Yeah.
Because, but the thing is that it seems like anytime he says that to his wife, well, why are we? So at the end of the day, I guess it's mindset.
It is.
It's mindset.
Yes, because it's not about, because before you get into marriage, if you already have the mindset of my role as a man in the relationship is to be a provider, you already have that mindset, and that's what you're going to go into that marriage with. So when your wife needs support, you're not going to give her the support. When it's time for you to take your kids to daycare or pick them up from school, you're not going to do that. When it's time for you to sit down with your children, teach them how to be men, teach them how to be women, teach them the proper principles of a life, you're not going to be there, because guess what? Your mindset is, you've already conformed yourself to think that I'm providing for you. When it's time for you to sit your male child down, to bond, to be, and see, African parents, let me tell you this, you are building everything that you do with your children, you're building memories. Because when you're long gone, it's the memories that you built with them that is going to stick in their head. That is the legacy that you have. Because if you are telling me I'm going to go and work, and you've missed the formative life of your children, you're not there. The children are going to remember that. My father was not there for me. They're not going to remember that, oh, you went to go and make money so we can have food. They're not going to remember that. What they're going to remember is my father was not there for me. When I had my games, it was the neighbor that was taking me to the game. They're going to remember it was my mom that was there. She was picking me up. She did everything for me. They're not going to remember and understand that it's because you were trying to be a provider for the family.
I will show that to people.
You just
I will on my money order, on my everything. I will show it. You're a man now. Come and see that. Do you know how much time? Do you know that laptop? Do you know I gave you all this?
And then guess what? You're teaching your female child. You're teaching your female child that it is okay. That when you get married, if your husband does the same thing to you, it's okay.
It's okay.
This is what marriage is. This is how marriage is supposed to be. You are teaching them that until that child grows up and now start to find themselves. They start to renew their mind. They start to transform themselves and realize, maybe this is not what I want for myself. Pastor Sean, let me give this analogy. People that came from a polygamous home. Maybe their father married 5 wives. And I say everything starts from you. Because you can either come out of that situation and think to yourself, my father married 5 wives. I know all the chaos that happened in the house. I am never going to put myself or my children through that again. But then you have another set of people. My father had 5 wives. He did it. Why can't I do the same?
Yes, some young guys are doing that. Still doing it.
They believe in that. So everything.
Yeah. He actually told me. He said, I want to date you. He has a current baby mama. He's like, I want to date you. You're going to be in Houston. He's going to be. I'm like, I'm sorry. So how does that work? I have to ask. How does that work?
Well, like, you don't know this.
Young guys that do it.
And a woman that doesn't know herself, or that
Will
haven't
say
found herself,
yes.
will say, okay, that's the way my
Because
or
the
maybe
girl he has, the other girl he has that has a kid,
Yeah.
he's fine with
it's
it.
fine with
Oh.
her.
But I'm like, okay, if you call me again.
Don't call me.
After 1 year, he calls me back. He's like, did you change your mind?
You didn't change your mind.
I did not change my mind.
That's
But aside from that, I think another thing is for African parents, how you treat each other. Kids are watching.
oh yeah, we said
How
that
my
earlier, remember?
from my parents' relationship, it's like it's I've seen the good side of it, I've seen the bad side of it. So I picked the ones I want. And there are things that I'm like, okay, this is nice. Okay, no, I don't want this. I think another thing is how the man could go work and then he comes back and the wife is like, okay, you are back. Oh yeah, take over. There's no that, oh, how was work? How was your day? There's none of that. So now a lot of guys still have that mentality of, oh, even though you work as a lady, they say especially to come back and still take up all the same responsibility because they're like, my mother did it. Even there are still young guys now, it's fine to want fresh meal every 3 days. There's no problem. But the minute you use, there are some guys that it's your
Every
problem.
every
Every day.
Oh,
Every
come
day.
on.
3 days.
Every day.
No,
Some people
okay,
say
every
every
day.
day.
Say,
But
we like
to use-
okra.
But you
Every
need to
day.
use the word, my mother did it.
Therefore,
Why
for
can't
the
you do
roll,
it? Some guys still compare a lot of women to their mothers.
Oh yes.
I think
They're not
my mother
adults.
did it, so
they are
why can't she do
children.
it?
They are not
I'm
adults.
like, then marry your mother.
Yes,
It's not that
because they're not
difficult.
adults.
Marry your mother.
Marry your mother.
Marry your mother.
guys, married.
It's
Guys
that
will not
simple.
like
Marry
that.
your mother.
They will not like that
They
when you say it.
You don't like that.
And that's when you know the difference between a child and an
Yeah.
adult.
It goes
You
back
don't
to
want to
childhood.
marry a child. You want to marry an adult.
Adult.
Ah,
You tell me, my mother
you
did
gotta be
it.
60-year-old and be a child.
And still be a
Child.
child.
No, milk.
Child at heart.
It's me.
So that's why you as an individual
You
know
know,
yourself.
Can I come?
Yes.
Yeah, Pastor. Going back to
Mindset.
what we talked about like yesterday on the show. If a man is not willing to embrace change and understands that I've been a child and I want to grow, now don't talk about even dating a woman. A woman is good enough for somebody that is more serious. If you're not going to be committed to just in dating, I'm not even talking about marriage now, just dating. You can't be then the day you movies is at 5, you got that 7 thing. Movies is done. Bro, you have so much excuses. You can't communicate. You can't check on person. If you can't do that consistently for 3 months as a man, I'm talking as a man, and you can get mad at me all you want. If you can't date, you can't check on a lady 3 months, why are you talking about I put a ring on it? You tripping. Put a ring on what? You can't even check on the female that you like or on the week. Oh, you don't voice them. What's the point of going to the next level? Because you're going to wait. Sir, what I'm really an advocate for now is men that are divorced or having issues with women saying, oh, I'm just going to go to the next one. It's very unfair to women that are minding their business. They're trying to find themselves, like Busola said, they're still looking for them.
Or they even found themselves.
And the man now comes, Slick Willie will pull up at the party with the Versace shade. And talk. Now Versace shade on that.
So then, and that means they haven't found themselves.
Exactly.
Because if they found themselves, they will not easily be distracted by all of that.
I was about to come back to that. Like
No, but now some
what
guys,
you said,
it's all about Pastor Shola with his mouthpiece.
is it
Finding
finding yourself, and then the last one where we got to was like knowing your responsibility as a man. Your responsibility is not just to provide, not just to put a roof, not just to put food in the fridge. You're supposed to be part of the family. You're supposed to love the woman,
in the kitchen.
be there emotionally, be there physically, help her in the kitchen, be in the life of your children also. All right. So if you after thinking about it and it's like, yeah, I think I could do that, then you're ready for that.
Pastor,
I
this
think
goes
we
both
deviated from
ways.
the topic.
No, but
The
this
topic
goes
is what?
how to ensure you marry
That's
the
right.
right person.
We're there.
We haven't deviated. And we keep saying men, but this also goes for women as well.
Yeah.
For women, all of this applies to both male and female.
yeah.
Because there's some women you naturally think women are homemakers, are nurturers. There are some women that are not nurturers.
Yeah.
They're not homemakers.
Yeah.
So this applies to
How will you know? How will you know?
both
Busola?
male
How
and
will you know?
female. If you apply this principle,
works for both.
It
You will know,
works
yeah.
for both male and female.
Please follow
It works for both male and female. Now, I want us to go into this thing because this is the highlight right here. And I want everybody to listen to this because what you were talking about, people that are divorced that are trying to go into. I mean, because everyone is redeemable. Just because one relationship didn't work doesn't mean that you can't find love.
Mm-hmm.
So, I didn't say that.
No, I'm just saying. I know you didn't say that. Doesn't mean that you can't find love. But once you've known yourself and you know that you're ready, you go to God in prayer.
There you go. She's speaking my language. That's good.
Speaking your language is not you are praying first though. You apply you go to God, going to God and applying those principles work hand in hand. Because that's when you're going to be able to tell God what you want. Because then you know, God, I know about marriage. I've seen marriages.
Yes.
This is what I want. And you know, God is still in the business of answering prayers. And you have to be specific in your prayers because you know some people will say, God, by this time next year I want to be married. I just want to marry. I just want to marry. God will answer your prayer. You will marry and you will marry anybody.
Sleep Willie.
Or some people will say, God, by this time I want to have a child. I want to have a child. You need to be specific. How God is going to do it? Because if God knows what you need, there's a difference between a need and want. It's what you need because then you'll be able to know, once you found yourself, you know what you want, you know that you are ready, you'll be able to now tell God your needs. If you're a minister in church, God, you already know your purpose. God, I want someone that will help me to fully walk in my purpose. That will not take me away from your presence. I remember before I got married, I had to go to God in prayer. I had a relationship that I was in for 3.5 years. That I really thought this was the person I was going to marry.
I was chilling.
No, we were in a relationship. I was not chilling. No, because me, I don't play that. But I thought this was the person I was going to marry. And when it ended, I was telling myself, how am I going to ever find somebody like this? I went to God in prayer and said, God, I've done it by myself. Now I need you to step in. Now I've been able to find myself. I knew my purpose. I knew that I was a minister and I need someone that was going to help my walk with God. I'm going to sing. I'm going to be in church. I don't need somebody that's going to tell me you cannot go to church. You cannot take my children to church. I want someone that we're going to serve God together. Those were my prayer points. I don't want to do marriage the way my parents did marriage. Those were my prayer points to God. And after finding myself.
They'll think you don't love your parents.
No. After finding myself. So, after you do that, you go to God and pray and watch God. But this principle, these 5 key life principles that are the core of who we are, that makes us who we are as individuals. These are the things that you need to find out about you. Your beliefs, number 1, about finances and money. Your beliefs about family, children, and culture. Number 2, your beliefs about faith, spirituality, and religion. That's number 3. Number 4, your belief about jobs and careers. Number 5, your beliefs about health and fitness. If you look at the world today and through research, what are some of the top things that causes divorce? Issues about money, issues about raising a family, issues about communication. So once you know yourself and your beliefs and your principles about this, then you should be able to talk to whoever you want to marry and make sure that these principles, first of all, find out your top 3 principles and beliefs that you cannot compromise on.
So can I say something?
And I'm going to.
My dad this day, I feel I don't let my mom talk to this day. So I had that issue. Pastor, you listen. I had that issue. And one day I just went by my parents' house. And my mom was trying to make a point. And my dad wouldn't let her talk. And I was looking at them. They thought I was asleep because they were trying to put me in the middle of that thing. When I was learning something I would never do again. And I was telling to me, I was just looking at it. Like, bro, you let my mom say one word, and I have that habit. I had it. I'm like, bro, this is where I got this nonsense from. And I said to myself, right now, I looked at my dad. I forgot what it was about you about. I said, you don't let a woman talk. How are you communicating? When you doing all the talking and you doing the answer, my dad was talking for my mom and doing the answering. And when my mom finally said something, could you tell her that you won't let me talk? And I looked at her. And as a child, you say, obey your, what did you say?
Obey your children.
So you're not going to set me up. Because my dad is joining me and my mom is saying, I looked at both of them. I said, can I talk as a pastor? I got them that way. Because the pastor, parents, my grandparents will listen. And this is how I was able to. That's another thing, or something like I thought it was the right thing, like just talk like the woman listen.
Yeah, because
He didn't have to teach you that.
Yeah.
You watched.
I made up my mind, like,
You pick it up. That's what kids.
That's what kids do.
Kids pick things up.
That's why when you show affection, when you kiss your wife, when you hug your wife, when you do things together, kids are watching. Those are the things that are they're going to pick up.
You have to show the positive things outside. If you're fighting in front of your kids, they think it's
Those
okay.
are things that they're going to watch.
They'll think it's okay to have a fight with your spouse and be yelling at each other in public.
Because I don't want us to actually make this complicated, because I want us to break it into pieces. I know you got a lot of points. We might not be able to finish them today, because I just want these people to get blessed so that we can actually take each of those points and just deal with each point. Because each of those stuff, I'm telling you, forget it. We can actually talk about each one for the next 1 hour.
So I just want to briefly talk about them now and break them down. These are the questions that you need to ask yourself. And even if you find someone that you're dating, these are the conversations you need to be having. Not necessarily in form of an interview question, but while you're having, you need to have those conversations. And you need to watch them to open your eye. So, number one, beliefs about money and finances. What are your beliefs? Do you believe that saving takes priority in your relationship? Do you believe that a man and a woman should have a joint account? Or do you believe that they shouldn't? Because if I believe that we should put our money together, and your belief is, no, I can never put my money together with a woman, and then we get married, we're going to be fighting all the time. Do you believe in saving? Who is going to be the spender? Who's going to be the saver? Those are the conversations that you need to be having.
Yeah.
Does money determine how often you go on vacation? How often you eat out? Those things. Some people don't believe in going on vacation. Some people don't believe in eating out.
They believe it's a waste of time.
They believe it's a waste of time. It's a waste of money.
Yeah.
But if you believe that this is how I build memories with you, this is how I spend time with you, you're going to be fighting about those things.
those are things you
Those
talk about
are things
before you get
that
into
you need to make sure you are aligned on. Number two, this has to do with our culture, beliefs about family and children. How do you raise your children? Who is the disciplinarian? How do you discipline your children? What are your beliefs about family? Are you someone that's very close to your family where you like to bring everybody together? Or are you someone that I want to be, it's I want me and my husband kind of thing. And even in our culture, there's some people that believe that once you marry a woman, you're supposed to be taking care of all their family members, send her sisters to school.
Yep.
What are your beliefs about that? You need to find those things out before you get married.
And you put it on
the table. How did you grow up?
How was your family upbringing?
Exactly.
That's another question.
Those are questions that you need
because
to
you'll be
about.
surprised.
You see what I say? That was what I mentioned the other day. There are broken people in this.
Yeah.
You can get broken based on the way they raised you.
Mm-hmm.
You can be broken based on what you've been through and all that.
Yeah.
So for you to marry someone, you must first of all fix them. So if you notice this guy is always doing this, go and cook for me, go and clean for me, something's wrong with that guy. You have to see something.
You have to.
And if he's not ready and willing to change, Don't put yourself through that stuff. You can never have happy home.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
You can.
So upbringing, asking about how someone grew up.
How did you
You
grow up?
don't go by
Or
just
maybe
the, don't
what
go
was
by
the
just the
relationship?
job,
Yeah,
how
don't go
much
by
money
that.
he's got, he lives
Or
in
even
America,
interest
or
and your hobbies. Those things are not important.
And
Those things
sometimes
are
you
not
will
good.
see it
Not what's going to sustain your
if you
marriage.
go
No,
to
no.
their family function. Like,
How
oh,
did they
come.
relate
If
with
they
each other?
invite you to something, it's actually sometimes a good idea to go if they're having like a family event. Because then you will see.
You will see the family
He won't say everything,
dynamic.
but you will see
You
the
will
family
see.
dynamic and you see how the father and mother are related. And you're like,
One-
Some guys
the
are
ma-
smart now.
No, no.
Well, no,
Listen,
invite her, come to a party.
let me give you an example.
She'll
Pastor.
say,
The guy that I
she'll
was
say
dating-
everything though.
The guy that I was dating
Sunshine,
before,
shine your eye. You will say everything though.
one of the relationships that I was in. Let me give you this example.
Yeah.
When I watched the family dynamic, they came from a polygamous family, a Muslim family, and the dynamic was sometimes when they're angry with each other, you see the way they'll be cursing each other. Oh my gosh, like cursing each other out. I'm talking about siblings, the same mother, the same father. And the mom will not be able to say, the mom will probably side one person, but the mom will not be able to mediate between the children fighting and, and kind of come in between them and tell them not to fight. What they're fighting is they're always bickering and cursing each other out. I didn't grow up like that. I grew up in a love, like my relationship with my siblings. I don't think I've ever told any of my siblings that, okay, this is not correct before. So hearing something like that, I was like, is this the kind of the kind of family I'm going to marry into? Absolutely no. But it took me 3.5 years to get to that point. Because at that point before, I didn't know myself. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know who I was. So let's go back to the third principle about faith, religion, and spirituality. How were you raised regarding spirituality, faith, and religion?
That's huge. That is huge, Busola. That is huge because there's like the core of everything. If your mindset is I'm a believer of God, but I don't believe in going to church, like you mentioned earlier. They don't expect that man to now say, "Oh, let's go to church together."
No. But if your mindset is, I don't want to go to church. I don't believe I have to go to church every Sunday to serve God. Well, you marry somebody that believes we must be in church. There's going to be a conflict. There's going to be a problem. So that's why you have to marry.
Are we supposed to be in church every day?
But that's why you're supposed to marry somebody that your principles, these core values, align. That's why Pastor Shah was saying earlier that non-believers, they're having long-term marriages. It's because of their principles, these key life core values. Because they align. They're in alignment. Not that you're not going to have conflict, but you have less conflict and tension because you have the same ideology and the same beliefs.
Sure.
That's what we're talking about.
Very,
How were
very
you raised? What is your belief about spirituality and religion and faith?
How are you raised and where do you stand?
Where do you stand right now?
And
Do you attend religious services or religious events? Does this belief influence how you would raise your children? Those things are important. You have to align on those things. How often do you discuss your beliefs with others? Are you a minister in the house of God? Will that person allow you to walk in your purpose? So it's not about how long you've been dating someone. That's why you see some people that have dated 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. They're not married in a month, they divorce. In 6 months, they divorce. Because their core beliefs and their core values were not aligned. That is
why I say to people, you see, sometimes when I look at Facebook and social media generally, I see all these young boys and girls getting married and doing all this dancing. I was like, so marriage is because marriage is not dancing. One of these girls, they will put their breasts like this, nothing's gonna come out. They'll be dancing like this. Actually, marriage is the boys will be wearing sofa. It'll be like so marriage. You see, before you jump into getting married, you must know all these things. This is supposed to be something you pay to come under.
Yes.
Teach me all these things step by step.
I mean, truthful.
We call it coaching. You must, at the end of the class, you will be able to say, "Oh no, I don't want to get married now," or "Let me wait for another 5 years."
Well, that's a good platform for you to say that. See, this is the problem. The pressure is, "Oh, why would you want to marry? Hey, you're not responsible." Our culture does that.
No, but PT,
If
this
you
is the
don't marry, you're not
platform.
responsible in our culture.
This is the
I'm
platform
telling
that
you.
we're giving you, and some people are still fighting against it. They still don't believe in it. It's their mindset.
This is the problem we have as a mindset.
It's your
And you
mindset.
see it, someone like myself bringing all these things all the time, coming in, kind of like a little confused. Like, am I saying the wrong things? Is this right? Is it not right? You see, I woke up this morning, I was thinking in myself, like, maybe I'm actually doing something. Maybe women are supposed to be slaves to men. Do you know if we change this message right now that women be a slave to men, you will see a lot of men will come and start watching
Yes.
us. But because we are teaching them the right things, they rebel because of mindset. They grew up like that. So to change this around, we are going to go through hell. They're going to call us different names. They will insult us. Yeah, woman
They'll be called
rapper,
Marapa.
stupid
And some of them
stuff.
have to
I'd
learn
rather
that.
jump in the lake than listen to you guys.
Some people will have
and
to
all
learn
kinds
the
of
hard
stuff.
way before they actually
They have
understand
to
that
learn,
they have
yeah.
to change.
But the issue is that whosoever will listen to all these things Busola just put on the table,
They will see results.
the person will get the result. Now, is it that women are different now or they're still the same? What I'll say is that women are more enlightened.
They're more enlightened. Women have evolved.
They-
Women are
Wait,
more. They're
no-
more independent.
Not
than
even
they
women
used to be.
alone. Individuals are evolving every day. You're not the same person you were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. I'm constantly, the world is
But
changing
what is the difference? What is actually making women not to want to take nonsense again?
because
Because we've seen too
we've
much.
seen too much.
And we've had enough.
No.
And we've seen too much,
Yes.
and we want better. for
Yeah,
ourselves.
we've had enough of one.
But you know what? We are enjoying that part.
So, Pashola,
Let's just come
this
in.
question that you asked,
There was one pastor that said if your husband cheats on you, just cook for him, let him take a shower, still have sex with
since
him.
I have sex with him, it will stop him from cheating.
No, he won't stop. He will keep
No,
on.
of course.
Okay.
Another,
You know, if
this
women
one,
can do that, well,
Pastor
we will
Shola,
have peace.
you see this one that you just said about women, what's
Yeah.
making them? So this point that I also want to make about job or career.
Yeah.
You know, some men, they have some huge insecurities. So that's why you really need to talk about these things, because if you as a woman, you are progressive, you are always aspiring to be better, you want to climb up the corporate ladder, you want to go to school, you want to be successful, then you have a man. Because you know there's some people that they are
Yeah, okay, where they are.
where they are. They are complacent
Yeah.
with where they are. They can be in the same job for 40 years, they are fine. They're
Still be earning $25.
And they're okay with
No,
that.
some guys will even tell you.
And if
I'm
your wife
okay.
should start making $50 an hour,
They start complaining.
it's not the problem.
And she's progressive. Maybe she wants to go back to school to better her life, to get a better job and all that stuff.
Busola, you know what? See, we're going to actually do this thing again and again. I'm going to be giving you probably like a 1 month straight broadcast. What we're trying to do right now is we're going to get better. We're going to get better camera setting. We're actually going to take it away from church. We're going to go into Airbnb, nice environment, everything. And then the audio will be better and stuff. Because we want you to take us through the first, the second, the third, all through. And then we'll be able to allow people to make phone calls. So they can ask you questions and stuff. And you see, the society is actually going like all the way back. So many men are not ready for marriage anymore. And the women are kind of like, okay, you do matchmaking, right?
Yes.
You believe that out of 20 people on your list, 19 will be ladies.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the thing. If you now ask the men, can you come and pay to actually connect with the ladies? They'll say, let the ladies pay. Me, I'll just
Yeah.
come and marry them.
Exactly.
That's what they tell you.
That's what they will say.
Let the ladies pay. They're the one looking for husband.
That's the mindset that
So it's
men
like they're doing them a favor.
yes.
You should go. You should match them.
Of course,
That's what
that's the
you're
reason
doing.
why you don't.
That's why you don't. Because if somebody's not ready to invest, this is no point. He won't still
Especially
appreciate that
men.
woman. And that's why you see a lot of men, they'll say, oh, Busola, can you get me a girl in Canada? Where are you? Nigeria. Why do you want a girl in Canada?
exactly. Exactly.
That's not rocket science. You know why.
You know why.
When there are 10,000 women in
Women,
Nigeria,
yeah.
but you're not ready.
More than that.
So, Busola and
Married
Dim Ladi.
for the wrong
We're
person?
bringing you, anyway. So you guys are going to be here. By this God, I'll open the telephone lines. People are going to ask you questions by the grace of God. And then we are going to get to the bottom of it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know more about this, Busola is going to be here with us straight 1 month. Straight 1 month. I'm going to give you a contact in case you want to do matchmaking or you want counseling session, you want coaching, or whatever it is that you want. All right? You're going to be able to meet with a professional. I always say this all the time, and I want you guys to listen. It's not because I'm a devil. I'm not a devil. It's not like I don't believe in God. I balance spirituality and physical together. You can't just be praying. You can't. I prayed before my mother died. My mother died. I prayed. I fasted. I wanted to kill myself. God didn't answer the prayer. You know the will of God is actually for her to die. But by the way, you pray for one woman with cancer. The woman died the third day. All the people they went to kill inside her, they went to night vigil to go and call Jesus. Jesus didn't come and protect them. So what I want you to understand is that there is principle to life. You pray and then you walk. You pray and you watch. That's how life is going to be balanced. You get disappointed after you pray and that prayer didn't get answered because you refuse to put the principle behind the prayers. So guys, if you have marital difficulty or you want to get married, call the professional. All right? If you are passing through one particular situation or the other and you want someone that you could talk to and you want to open yourself up and just pour it out, call the professionals and they will help you out. Don't talk to your uncle, don't talk to your sister, don't talk to your mommy. It's possible for those ones not to help you well. Call someone that is outside of your family. They will be able to help you. Thank you very much, Pastor Tunde, for coming on the show with me today. Thank you very much, Dim Ladi, for always being. And thank you very much, Sister.
Thank you, Pastor Shola. I'm
for
so
being
humble.
here. In case you want to get you, in case these people want to connect with you, all right, with all what you've said today, we want to see here more from you. How can they get you?
So you can reach me on Instagram at @thelovedynasty_. That is the name of my company. My website is also thelovedynasty.com. And our phone number and everything is there. And email is there as well. So you're welcome to contact. Send me a DM, send me an email. I'm always available.
Your Instagram, right?
On my Instagram.
Instagram, Facebook,
Yes.
YouTube.
And then the phone number is 713
5548
7539.
7539.
Yes.
All right, write it down. Make that phone call. In case you're trying to get out, you're not able to go through, call me. I will get you a phone number right instantly, and I will charge you $50 for that. So it's better for you to get the phone number now.
But if you can't reach me on that number, another number would be 832-352 352-4838.
Let me type it out so they'll know. 8 what?
832 352 4838. Thank you so much for having me.
So thank you very much, everybody. God bless you. Until we see you guys again. See you.